Good morning. This is John Sakowicz and
Jay Johnson
here with The Truth About Money. We've got an exciting show planned for you today. Just to outline the show a little bit, we're going to do a few housekeeping items as we do every week, and then move to some of the important business stories in the news. In the last week, President signed an important student loan bill yesterday. Also, the cost of living inflation is the highest it's been in 17 years. We'll discuss that a little bit. Our first guest will be Andy Scheck-Schneider of Progressive Asset Management, a socially responsible investing firm. I've known Andy for years. We've worked together at UBS, and he's an interesting guy, and I hope he agrees to be maybe a once-a-month guest on our show. Very interesting guy. Our second guest in the second half of the hour will be Benjamin Day, who is the author on a report on the 10th anniversary of the universal healthcare system in Massachusetts. It was a grand experiment that failed, and I think it has important lessons for both candidates, Obama and McCain. We'll be speaking to Mr. Day, who is the director of Mass Care, a leading healthcare advocacy coalition based in Boston, in the second half of the show. So, good morning, Jay.
Hey, John. How you doing?
Good. Anything you'd like to get off your chest this morning?
Oh gosh, just one more update. Quick update on the computer virus scare and the hacker scare. It looks like the Department of Justice has just issued a warning or a notice, talking exactly about what we talked about last week, and saying that basically their computer systems are not secure against the simplest of attacks, which is denial of service. This just happened to Georgia. The Russian hackers had actually done denial of service on the Georgian government, and so their computer systems were down as Russia was bombing. And the Department of Justice is completely open to that also. So we'll have another show on that, but just a quick update.
No, that's exactly right. I'm preparing a show for next week on the invasion of Georgia by Russia and the whole issue of Caspian oil. Incidentally, that show's going to rock. We have a couple of former spooks, or are hoping to get a couple of former spooks if they can get permission to talk. We have Michael Clare, who is the author of Rising Powers and Shrinking Planet, The New Geopolitics of Energy, and who was featured in the recently released documentary Blood for Oil. We have him as a confirmed guest. I'm trying to get one or two other guests as well. But you're exactly right. This whole issue of, what do they call it? Botnets?
Botnet. Mm-hmm.
Botnet. Was executed just superbly by Russian hackers. Actually, they were probably acting under the direction of the Russian military.
Or the CIA, one of the other.
to shut down Georgia's computer infrastructure, which is fairly sophisticated. So if you don't think this can happen here in the United States, think again. Also going back to the issue of identity theft that we talked about last week, I heard from my sources that the lead defendant in this case, and we're talking about 41 million Americans, or 41 individual instances of computer theft and identity fraud, was actually perpetrated by the FBI's lead informant in the case. Did you hear anything about that?
No, not yet.
Last week we were wondering how it's possible how you can get a speeding ticket for moving through a yellow light here in Ukiah, downtown Ukiah, or not coming to a full stop at the stop sign, with Officer Lockhart sitting right outside just waiting to write those tickets, and yet nobody seems to be in charge when it comes to national security or federal law enforcement. How is it possible that the FBI's lead informant in this case is now being charged as the lead defendant in the identity theft of that led to 41 separate instances of computer fraud?
41 million.
Well, I'm sorry, 41 million. Wow. All right. Somebody...
On with the show.
Well, yeah, when this nightmare is over, somebody wake me up.
Do we have our first guest on the line?
What? In a second, a few housekeeping items here.
Okay.
We get lots of calls, or I get lots of calls and lots of emails about previous guests. We had Tyson Slocum, who is Ralph Nader's lead energy watchdog. as a guest last week. We had suggested that he be the guest speaker or the featured speaker next year at Soulfest, and there's been a lot of support for that. For those of you who would like to write to Mr. Slocum and encourage that, he's again at citizen.org, or so that would be T Slocum, TSLOCUM, Slocum, T Slocum at citizen.org. Once again, that's Public Citizen, Ralph Nader's organization. If the organizers of Soulfest would like my help in helping to organize this and possibly fund it, please give me a call here at the station or at
the studios here at Ukiah Valley TV, where we're broadcasting from today, actually. Exactly.
So that would be at ukiahvalley.tv. So one of those two contacts would be fine. I also continue to get calls about the very good people at the Neighborhood Assistance Corporation. They'll help you refinance your mortgage if you're upside down in it, or even help you buy a house at the best possible price in your mortgage. Once again, those good people are at NACA.com. Their phone number is 1-888-302-NACA. So once again,